Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's intraday analysis video, brought to you by the creators of proprietary price, pattern, and time methodology. Learn the PPT strategies and profit for life. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. All right, guys, let's get into this video on this Monday, August 12th, 2013. I have some trade alerts for you guys later in this video, but first let's get to what the market is doing. Across the board, we are seeing mostly negatives. S&P down 4, Dow down 27. However, the NASDAQ is up on the back of Apple. Apple Inc. having a nice solid day today. Over the weekend, they announced that they will be showing or showcasing the new iPhone on September 10th, and therefore the stock of Apple here has gotten a pretty dramatic move up today, up about $12.50. The key is here, if we're just talking about levels, if you want to know where Apple's going to ultimately go, this is where the target is. All right, and this is a target I've given out to members for a long, long time, and ultimately it probably does get to about the 485 level. 485, once you get there, I think that's the conclusion of this move up, but nonetheless a beautiful move, and it is carrying the NASDAQ and the NASDAQ 100 higher today. Now, as we go back to the SPY, one thing that we have to note is that the markets are lower again. Not dramatically lower. SPY, which again mirrors the S&P 500, is only down about 44 cents, but it's just the continued interesting nature of this market to be weak on the lightest trading days of the week. So again, if we talk about what the most likely up days are, it's Friday and Monday. Why? Because the volume is the lightest of all week, period. And we're seeing that again today, 48 million traded, but the markets can't even catch a bid on these days, which continues to tell me that there is a lack of buyers. It's not that there's a lot of sellers, right? And that's the key to understand here. I'm not saying that there's a lot of sellers here, because if there were a lot of sellers, the market would be down huge, but it's just more of a lack of buyers. Just like there's just no one really, not a major amount of people willing to jump in this market, definitely not institutions, and even the retail investor, one thing we've seen lately is that they're just not eager to jump into this market either. And that's why in light volume the markets are down. Now, if the retail investor was getting in, you'd see this market on light volume higher. But again, without that aspect, that's why the markets are lower. And again, it has to be concerning here because the retail investor is the last one to buy. All right, when the retail investor buys, that's the last on the totem pole to get into the market, and then obviously we know the market collapses back down. So if you're already seeing the retail investor kind of stall out here and not take positions anymore, that does tell us that there could be more downside in the future, because really to get more downside, all you need is the institutions to start selling, and then watch out below. The market could literally take a major crap to the downside. It could be huge downside potential because the volume from the institutions on the sell side could be monstrous. So, these are little things that as a trader and investor I kind of pay attention to, and I think it is worthy to pay attention to these type of things. All right, so that's what we have on the S&P 500, on the SPY. One major trend line to watch is this trend line here. See from the gap right here? I remember the Fed day we had, that day where we had the Fed gap up. That was right here. And if you could take that pivot low to this low, and it connects right to this morning's gap down low, that is the level. As long as we stay above that, to me, the markets have a chance to somehow fight their way higher. But once we get below that, watch out below, because this market will come down and come down fast, ultimately going to 166.50. And I think actually a gap fill around 165 would be very, very likely if, I repeat, if we take out this upsloping trend line. So that's what I'd be watching right now. Currently, the upsloping trend line is hovering around the 168.50 level, which is about 35 cents lower. We'd have to close below there on the daily. If it pierces intraday, I don't really care about it. It's more so if you close below that at the end of the day. So watch that very closely. One of my favorite stocks today, guys, is one stock that a lot of people are fearful of, and you guys know I'm a major contrarian player, and that's helped make me and my clients and my members so much money. Take a look at JCPenney today, guys. All right, JCPenney, I've been in and out quite a bit already today, but I love this play. All right, I love this. All right, consolidating above both moving averages. The target is the 200 MA, which is at 1305 right now. But even if we look at this in the broader scheme, I like the upside here. All right, you got Ackman annoyed at the CEO. He's causing problems. You got fear that they're running out of funding, which is, to me, I haven't seen any substantiated facts about that. This is all fear-mongering, which is making people short the stock, which is making longs get out of the stock, which is pushing it lower so institutions can accumulate, and I am along with the institutions in accumulation. So I'm really looking for a swing trade entry here on JCPenney. I do think there could be one final flush, but I wouldn't be opposed to picking up a small position in these realms, just in case it does pop without that flush. And then if it goes lower, you just kind of accumulate a little bit more on the downside. I think that this will be in 2014 an easy 100% gainer to the upside when they start to turn this company around. And I do think they will. I do think they will. So just something to keep in mind. Right now it is flat on the day. Even with a weak market, it is showing strength. Was lower today, and look at this float up, and then this consolidation. So I have to say I really do like JCPenney here. This is one of my favorite trades today. Not only as a day trade, but also as a swing trade. You could play it as a day trade and a swing, or play it just as a day or a swing. Either way, but it does look very, very good to me, folks. Okay, so keep that in mind. Very nice stock on JCPenney. A couple other stocks to keep in mind here. A couple other little tidbits that I'm keeping my eyes on. Number one, we have to go back to a couple other plays here. Number one, JP Morgan. So JP Morgan's down again today. This stock has been so weak. It, as of now, is sitting below the 50 MA, but there's no confirmation yet. So right off the bat, that's interesting. This is very important, this trend line right here, guys. All right, so see this upsloping trend line? So that pivot point, I actually think you probably get down there in the next few days, but when that does hit, look for support absolutely on this stock. Okay? And again, right now that support's around the 53 level, so it's about $1 lower, 95 cents lower, somewhere in that realm from the current level. But when you come into that level, expect a bounce. I even think as a daily bounce, not just a day trading bounce. So you can look for that as well, folks, all right? Another stock that's weak, and I'm short this stock, is Chevron. Chevron getting a beautiful continued down move, down another $1 and change today. Support level is right here. There is some key support around the 120.5 level. Ultimately, this is going to the 200, though. All right. In fact, you could kind of draw this trend line right here. This is a beautiful M top. I think this is a longer-term high being put in right up here on Chevron. The earnings were just horrendous, folks. This stock, again, is probably going to, ultimately in 2014, sub 100. I don't know if it'll get there in 2013 still, but I do think there is a chance of that as well. So just keep an eye on this, guys. I do think very good continued downside, although it will have bounces along the way. But I do think, again, that this downside will come in and be pretty drastic considering everything I'm seeing on the charts, everything I'm seeing in terms of the fundamentals as well in the earnings reports. Okay, so that's a nice one. Also, I think we need to talk about Tesla. Tesla's down almost $10 today. Beautiful collapse. I am short Tesla. I continue to be. I almost got stopped out at the top, but was able to read the chart, and it told me it was going down. Today, it's down about $10 on the day. That is a beautiful fall, folks. The key to today's action, what you want to see is a close below 145.50. If it closes below 145.50, the top should be in. All right, the long-term top should be in up here, and you can look for further downside. Yeah, it'll have a few bounce days along the way, but I do not expect, if it closes below 145.50 today, I do not expect these highs, these recent highs, to get taken out. All right, and ultimately, the next stage after a close below 145.50, you want to see a close below gap fill here in the 20 MA, which is right around the 134 and change level. All right, so beautiful little fall there. And again, guys, bottom line is it's just about reading the charts, and we've been slowly accumulating shorts over the last few weeks or so here at InTheMoneyStocks.com as swing trades with our members. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, how can you short a market when the Fed's backing this market? You can't short go long." And we obviously have heard that 10 times over, and it's always the wrong thing when people say that. So what we have to do is we independently don't get annoyed by the hype or get involved in the hype that we hear. Instead, we look at the charts, and the charts were just clearly telling us, slowly can accumulate some shorts out there because the market is at a pivotal point here. And you could see some more downside, although, again, you're going to have buy-the-dip mentality, so you're going to have bounces along the way. But based on everything I'm seeing right now, especially considering what the Fed is looking to do in terms of pulling back QE, you should see some continued downside, even though it could be with some big bounces along the way. All right? So again, interesting to see where Tesla closes today. TSLA, let's go to the intraday chart on Tesla. Nice bounce right off here. The bounce level was actually a very easy level to see because it was the closing basis right here. See that? So you have this little open and close level right here from the 6th and the 7th of August before that dip. And then we just hit off of that little trend line right there, and you got to bounce. So see how easy day trading is, too. I mean, you just see that, you scalp it, you make some money. It's all good right there. Okay? What else are we looking at here today? Apple obviously is the standout. That's taking the NASDAQ higher, but financials and oil stocks are lagging today. Chevron, Exxon both lagging quite substantially, so those are coming in beautifully. And Google's actually weak today as well. Google, let me just bring up Google's chart here. It's off its lows a little bit, but in terms of Google, you have a head and shoulders here, guys. Very important trend line chart here. Take a look at this. You're right on the neckline right now. This is actually a huge chart. Take a look at the head and shoulders here. So if this closes below this blue line, right now it's trading on, so it has to close below. But if it closes below, the head and shoulders triggers, and this could see some major downside here, guys. Really, some major downside is a possibility. I do think it's warranting keeping an eye on. All right, because again, targeted factors here would take you down to the 200. All right, if this pattern plays out, you're going almost to the 200, if not to the 200 on Google to the downside, if it triggers. All right, again, very important chart to watch there. Other than that, we have some Chinese stocks, very hot Chinese market. CPSL Chinese stock here. This is a Chinese steel stock. Obviously, the economic news from China has been a little bit better of late. GSI's popping up a little bit. Sutter. These are all Chinese steel stocks, so they're getting a bid today. Also, gold. Can't not mention gold today, guys. Gold, big gap up, although it's coming a little off its highs. Same thing with silver. Really dramatic move up in silver, guys. Really nice move up in silver. And then, therefore, gold and silver stocks are having big days. Look at Royal Gold, RGLD, up $4.50 today. By the way, where are you going to short this? Easy target, easy target here, right here. All right, 200 is going to come into this level. Your target level is around the 63.5, 64 level on this stock. Still has a little ways to go, but if it gets there, that is a no-brainer shorting opportunity to me. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to get going. I got to get back to trading, but really some fascinating stuff. It's a light volume Monday in August, but the bigger picture here is very intriguing, and it is giving forth some nice profits and opportunities to profit out there. Come take the 7-day free trial here at themoneystocks.com. As always, profit with the pros, learn the proprietary methodologies, start being a force to be reckoned with instead of letting the institutions bully you around. I think that's the bottom line, folks. Remember, JCPenney looks great here. That's my favorite play into the end of the day. I think it gets over 13 today and maybe even higher. I think in the coming days you could easily go to 13.5 to 14 bucks. So again, JCPenney, my favorite play. 30, 40 million shorts in that stock. Ridiculous. Ready to short squeeze at any drop of a hat on any sort of good news, and it very well could do that at any point in time. Take care. Have a great afternoon, great evening. I will talk to you soon.